Hey guys, welcome back to Moko Talks. My name is Moko, and today's topic is gonna be about the cancellation of Prince of Persia's announcement that was made about 3 to 4 days ago by Ubisoft on Twitter. Basically, not just the game has been cancelled, but the whole studio had been shut down by Ubisoft, and it had led to some of the most prominent figures in gaming at the moment, Baldur's Gate 3 publishing chief, to speak out about it. And I have to agree with what he said. We will see now an article written by PC Gamer, and we will read the facts, and I'll give you guys my opinion regarding that subject. All right, let's switch for now. All right, so this is the article written by PC Gamer. So Baldur's Gate 3 publishing chief calls out Ubisoft's broken strategy. If gamers need to get used to not owning games, developers must get used to not having jobs. So this is what the headline is, and if you guys are not understand, I'm not sure where did that statement came from. Basically, at some time ago, one of the Ubisoft's main managers, I think he was the publisher or director, maybe a higher up figure in the Ubisoft company, came out and said that gamers should get used to not owning games, because I think there was a time where a game got discontinued, and if you had bought it and downloaded it, you can play it anymore, which is kind of a bullshit move. If you have paid like $50-$60 for a game and have it removed from your library, it's like basically someone coming into your house and stealing your own furniture. It's the same concept. It was very unacceptable. It really got a lot of controversial. It was a very controversial statement by that person, and it led to basically this. So Prince of Persia was not doing so good, and at the end of the day, the Ubisoft decided to just scrap the whole project altogether. Now, I haven't really looked into the game that much in the new game that they were doing, but I figured that was like a 2D animation kind of video game, which I didn't have any interest in whatsoever because of how the Prince of Persia is being portrayed. I didn't like the style, didn't like the style of the game at all. I didn't like the way they were gonna make the game played, and I was pretty sure it was made by Ubisoft, so I didn't have that my hopes up that much. I played the original Prince of Persia games, and it was one of those games that I absolutely got my mind blown when I first played, because the concept of stopping and rewinding time or fast forward time was such a huge deal in the gaming industry back then. And honestly, it was very, very disheartening to see none of the other gaming companies were able to do so, because Ubisoft had the rights to that kind of game mechanics, and they would not release it to anyone else. Anyway, so Larian director, before continuing, anyone else in the same concept, but other people have tried it so far, like Life is Strange basically, but not in the same way as in Prince of Persia. Anyway, let's go and get into it. Larian, director of publishing Michael Dowse, never want to be shy about speaking his mind, has spoken his mind about Ubisoft's decision to disband the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown development team, saying it's the result of a broken strategy that prioritized subscriptions over sales. So the game was made to be like on a subscription basis instead of having to buy it and owning it. That's like where we spoke of it in the first place. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is quite good. PC gamer Molly Taylor felt it was dragged down by a very slow start, calling it a slow burn to a fault in an overall positive review, and it holds an inviolable 86 aggregate score on Metacritic. Despite that, Ubisoft recently confirmed that the development team has been scattered to the four winds to work on other projects that will benefit from their expertise. I absolutely get where Ubisoft is, what's going on in Ubisoft's mind when they say this, when they announce this, because as you guys know, as of late, Ubisoft hasn't been releasing really good games that have been a hit. You got Star Wars, you got Assassin's Creed. I think there was another game in the pipeline that really didn't do much, maybe Unknown 9. No, I think that's Square Enix. Anyway, so it really wasn't doing so good in the sales. So they decided to, why spend so much money on this game when we know it's not gonna do much in the future? And they were like, yeah, let's just scrap it and get people to work on other games that will make them more money. which unfortunately it's not gonna happen. So this DAO's feels is at least partially the outcome of Ubisoft's focus on subscriptions over conventional game sales. The whole feeling comfortable with not owning your game thing is espoused by Ubisoft Director of Subscription Philippe Tremblay. Oh, so he was director earlier this year, and the decision to stop releasing games on Steam, which is far and away the biggest digital storefront for PC gaming. Yeah, they really trying so very hard to push their Ubisoft Connect, but it's just not that good. The last notable game on their platform was arguably Far Cry 6 in 2021, and even that game didn't do that much good. You know, it was really not that good of a game. That was posted on X via Games Radar. The Crew, Mirage, and Avatar came in 2023 and didn't perform. Oh yeah, Avatar, right? Avatar was by Ubisoft. I didn't even notice that game, to be honest. I'm way too deep with the gaming industry. I just didn't give it a second thought. Like it was barely advertised even, and then perform. So you can assume subscription were at a lull when POP released Prince of Persia by 2034, which means people wouldn't be launching their store all too much. If it had released on Steam, not only would it have been a market success, but there would likely be a sequel because the team are so strong. It's such a broken strategy. The hardest thing is to make a 85 plus game. It is much easier to release one. It just shouldn't be done as it was. So basically, like if you had subscribed to the Connect thing or the other subscriptions, you know, Ubisoft is just has this habit of releasing games with a tied-in subscription. It was the same with Star Wars at that time, and it's just very anti-consumer, and the prices of it is insanely high. Like I think Outlaws got to the point where it cost like $150. Like that is way too much for a video game. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown did eventually come to Steam, but not until August 8th, 7 months after its initial release. It's been as well received there as elsewhere, holding a very positive user rating, but that far down the road the proverbial wind was out of its sails, and decisions about a sequel and the fate of the dev team were presumably already locked in. If the statement the gamers should get used to not owning their games is true because of a specific release strategy over sales, then the statement developer must get used to not having jobs if they make a critically acclaimed game, platform strategy above title sales is also true, and that's just insensible even from a business perspective. Daus wrote. Yeah, I've been saying this a lot actually. Developers, if you're gonna keep being anti-consumer, and if you're gonna keep going against your core audience, which are gamers, wishes and demands, you're not gonna have any sales, you're not gonna have any revenue, no one's gonna buy your game, and this will cost a lot of people's jobs. And we have seen it so many times. Like I think in 2024 so many studios closed down, so many people lost their jobs because you're just not listening to the gamers. Like I'm tired of repeating this over and over again, but if you're opening a business, be it a shop, be it a restaurant, be it whatever, and your core consumer, like your targeted consumer, by the way, for this product is not enjoying it, they're not gonna buy it. And every time gamers come forward with their criticism, by the way, not insane demands or requests. I'm actually talking about actual criticism, constructive criticism, and you're just denying it and labeling it as gamer hate, or these are just haters, or gamers just complain because they want to complain. Then you're just not doing anything to help yourself here. You know, you're just shutting yourself out, putting yourself in an echo chamber, and talking to other game developers about how crazy gamers are. And I think that's been the take and the perspective of every game, not every, but most Western game developers out there. I don't understand what you want from gamers at this point. Like, you want us to buy your game or not? Well, then why not listen? I think this is his statement here. The evidence of his statement. Ubisoft has arguably seen the error of its ways to some extent. I disagree with this. After years of keeping PC releases to its own storefront at Epic Games Store, Ubisoft's game began trickling back to Steam in 2022. It announced a wholesale return to the storefront in September, saying that all future releases, including the delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows, will launch on Steam on day one. It's worth remembering that even when you purchase games on Steam, you don't really own them in the traditional sense. You are paying for a license to use them, and that can be taken away from you at any time for a number of reasons. But with all due respect to GOG, Steam is where most PC gamers buy their stuff. And in the digital marketplace that now dominates PC gaming, that license agreement is the de facto ownership. Publishers avoid the storefront at their peril, which isn't to say a Steam release would have ensured a long, bright future of togetherness and sell sequels for the Lost Crown dev team. It's also available on PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch, which simply didn't add up to stellar sales. But Dow said it was ideal fit for the Steam storefront and Steam Deck, and being there would have given it a better chance at finding an audience that not being there. It can't resonate with an audience it doesn't reach because it isn't on a platform at the right moment. And there's something else out there. Epic Games, Ubisoft launcher, any other websites don't actually have user ratings or user reviews as much as Steam does. And I would agree with Daus here that if they had released it on Steam and a lot of people had given it a high review, the game would have sold much better and would have succeeded, to be honest, at a certain point. Especially with Steam Deck being what it is now, it's so much more powerful than Nintendo Switch, and it's as powerful as a PlayStation. It's arguable, of course. You can say it's not as powerful. I mean, it's just out there, like, you know, it's a strong gaming platform. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's better than PlayStation. I'm not saying it's better than Xbox. I'm just saying it's strong enough to be compared to a low-end PC. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of people are buying Steam Deck. A lot of people are enjoying these kind of games more on PC than they are on Xbox and PlayStation because, well, I don't know. It's just how it is. People enjoy platforming more on PC apparently. I could be wrong though. Hey, I'm not. It's not a fact. It's just an opinion over here. All right. For premium games, Steam on PC is about 90% plus of your total sales on the platform. Probably slightly lower if you own your own platform. He wrote, if you remove the Steam platform at peak of relevance, you're removing 90% of your average potential audience, quite substantial. Yes, that is also true. And there's no better platform to advertise your game than Steam. Let's be honest here, Connect and Epic Games are still very, very, very inferior to Steam, and they still haven't got there. Like, you have so many years to work on your launcher and have it a profitable platform and a competitive to Steam, but these companies are just not focused on the software as much as Valve is, and that is a fact, by the way. Valve is not a gaming company anymore. Like, I think the last game they released was Deadlock, and that is still under works, and they haven't released any other game ever since Half-Life Alyx, and even that game was basically a demo to show off the new virtual reality hardware. So Valve is more focused on their software and mechanical projects than other gaming companies, and it's very, very obvious. And Valve understand what the gamers want. They know their core consumer, core audience, and Ubisoft just doesn't want to admit it. Ubisoft wants to show themselves that they know better than you, and they have said this so many times with their arrogancy on social media, and I'm actually quite tired of them. So, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, released on PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox, only sold 300,000 in its launch month. The release would have somehow saved the game is unrealistic. So this is one person that's arguing against him. They said, no, this is not really the kind of game being successful on Steam. It's exactly the audience. Older IP skews older, which the Steam platform does. Benefits from democratic positioning, that is true. Plus a likely headline banner, Steam Deck compatibility, so extra visibility for free, same as any other quality platform. That is true as well. So Daus isn't the only Larian stalwart that feel this way. In January, Larian founder Sven Vink said it's going to be a lot harder to get good content if subscription becomes the dominant model, because that will leave subscription service owner as the final arbiter of which games don't get made. That's maybe a debatable point, but the bottom line is you won't find our games on a subscription service, which is also true. Alright, I think that's it for the article. A little bit of my opinion around here. I think you guys already know what my main opinion of Ubisoft is. It's not favorable because they keep making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision that only really hurts the company. And we've seen it happen so many times in front of us, in front of our eyes. If you're gonna debate me on this, if you're gonna go against me on this, saying Ubisoft is still out there, one of the best, I'm sorry, you're just factually wrong. It's been going on for this whole year. There's been so much internal conflicts going on in Ubisoft with their shareholders, with their games not working out, not making sales. It's just there, you know. And to have it be like, it reached a point where actual other gaming directors and publishers are going against Ubisoft's own strategy. Just goes to show you that, hey, I'm not just a normal YouTuber with a bachelor degree in business that's telling you this. Other well-known figures in the gaming industry actually going against what Ubisoft is doing and what is basically planning. So this is not a good strategy. Take it from people who understand this. It's not a good strategy, but Ubisoft they're not getting convinced. They're not listening to people. They're not listening to their consumers. They're not listening to their peers. They're not listening to anyone, and they're just burning themselves down. It's just sad to watch such a behemoth in the gaming industry turn into a shell of itself right now because of bad decision making from the managerial side. And these people are still in their seats. They're not leaving. They're not relinquishing a moneymaker like Ubisoft. Well, it used to be a moneymaker. Now their stocks have gone down so, like, their stocks went down at a laughable level. I think they were like $40-50 per share. Now it's 10, and maybe even lower than that. I mean, it's just remarkable for me how people can be so blind to what's happening in front of them, especially from the managerial side. Well, that's it for this video, guys. A little bit of side note. I've noticed one of my videos gaining a whole lot of traction, and it reaches my videos really don't normally reach more than 120 to 100 views. And that last video I made was basically a rant, and I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but it is what it is. Don't expect that. I don't expect this video to reach that kind of momentum, like 1,000, 1,500 views or whatever. But if you ever do see this video, if it goes into your recommendation, I would be very, very glad if you would see some of my other videos instead of like what those people did. They just judged me on that one video and one video only, instead of actually seeing what my channel is about, and then just, you know, basically just wrote comments like they did. Just funny comments, whatever. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, yeah, check my channel if you're interested. Put a like button down below and leave a comment on what you think about Ubisoft nowadays. And if you do enjoy my other content when you visit my channel, I would appreciate if you subscribe. It helps me a lot because I actually want to keep doing this. So check you around next time. Ciao for now. Bye bye.